Hello, it's such a big pleasure to welcome you to this edition of From Our Correspondent. My name is Richard K Nyarko. It's my pleasure to take you around the country to bring you stories from our correspondent who've been working in our various communities across the country. There are very interesting stories in this edition of the program. Stay with me. In our first story, the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, has assured family and personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service of apprehending persons who allegedly murdered the Immigration Control Officer, Michael Otu, in March this year. He said they were undeterred about the heinous crime committed by the suspect, but they have been spurred on to look for them to face justice. Ambrose Derry made a statement at a ceremony to hand over a set of 2-unit bedroom houses to the Ghana Immigration Service. My colleague from the Upper West region, Rafik Salam, has more in the following report.
Interior Minister Ambrose Derry did not mince words on the commitment of the security agencies in their bid to find the alleged hoodlums who committed the heinous crime resulting in the death of Immigration Control Officer Michael Otu on March 22. Speaking at a whistle-stop ceremony for handover 2 units of 2-bedroom houses to the Ghana Immigration Service, Ambrose Derry assured the family and personnel of the service that adequate steps have been taken to arrest the perpetrators of the dastardly act.
I can assure you that the police are taking the investigation seriously. And yesterday, after the ceremony in Hamley, we did show particular respect. We were led by the Controller General, including the German ambassador to Ghana, RAM, to the spot where he fell. He is rest in peace, but let me assure the criminals that we are undeterred by such members, and we shall get to them. And Ghana has to be safe at all costs.
He urged personnel of the security services, especially personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service, to up the ante to ensure that persons who are blacklisted are not allowed into the country.
And so we expect officers of immigration to be up and doing their jobs. We allow them in, but want to make sure that people who come in are not on the blacklist. Therefore, they don't have a criminal record. And you and the various communities to monitor that when foreigners come into your community, you should know where they live. And I'm appealing to landlords and proprietors, businesses, hotels, and all those residential accommodation providers that they have a duty to let Ghana Immigration Service know those foreigners who come in. We welcome them, but want to make sure that those elements among them who are here to make Ghana unstable are dealt with.
On the 2 units of 2-bedroom houses handed over to the Immigration Service, the Interior Minister lauded the collaboration of the State Housing Company and the Ghana Immigration Service and urged other state institutions to follow their example. Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Lawyer Kwame Aswotachi, noted that the housing project embarked on came as a result of his visit to the various commands and border crossing points where he saw for himself the harsh and dilapidated conditions that personnel were subjected to. In collaboration with the State Housing Company, 11 of such projects have already been executed and commissioned to improve the working conditions of personnel of the service.
Together with my management and with the support of my minister, we engaged the State Housing Company to begin to construct and renovate dilapidated housing facilities across the various GIS commands for use by our officers. Today, I can say that residential needs of the service has greatly improved and more facilities are being done and will soon be handed over to the service.
Lawyer Aswotachi disclosed that 87 new sector commands have been created to tighten control on illegal migration to enhance immigration presence in all parts of the country.
To tighten security, especially internal security across the country, the Ghana Immigration Service has created 87 more sector commands to tighten control on illegal migration to enhance immigration presence in all districts of the country and to help in internal security of the country and to make our citizens feel safe and secured. Further to this, management of the service have begun to mount inland checkpoints at strategic locations along major border routes to serve as second level of checks to intercept all undocumented migrants who may have entered the country through unapproved routes.
Reporting for Joynews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
God bless you.
Stay with me in the Central Region because former Finance Minister Professor Kwesi Botwe says the suppressing and silencing of critical voices that are capable of contributing to discourse on Ghana's socio-economic growth amounts or account for Ghana's current economic situation. According to him, voices of experts have been tagged in such a way that such persons are unable to participate in the economic governance structure of the country. He was speaking to Joynews on the sidelines of the launch of the University of Cape Coast School of Economics Development Fund.
I think that it is more important now to just plug the loopholes in the implementation of existing, regulations and taxes. The Auditor General has spoken about, colossal, losses made in this and so on. I mean, I think that it would be helpful if people would see that at the same time as this revised whatever e-levy is being implemented, that efforts are being made equally to streamline the load of government expenditures, to assure people that government is sensitive to the situation that we face. So I hate it when we zero in on the e-levy as though it is, the most important thing happening in the country. The most important thing happening in the country is just the fact that the public debt is not sustainable. We need to restore our credibility on the market so that we can access it when we need to. We don't want to be isolated, and then we must create some political space so that decent and sensible conversations can be had, to create the space for government to take initiatives that must be taken without looking over their shoulders. But when there isn't dialogue, everybody digs in, and the country doesn't need that.
When this government was coming, it stressed production over taxation. And is it something they have been unable to do? That is why we are where we are now.
I try in all my public utterances to ensure that I'm not, berating anybody. I've been there before. I know how difficult it is. And I know how, it's the stress one gets when you think you are doing your best and somehow people don't appreciate it. But clearly, I think that the initial wave of, fortunate, outturns, diverted, the government's attention from the fact that there were structural and difficult issues that we were dealing with already. There needs to be just honest discussion. There's absolutely no point in, juggling with numbers and reclassifying, numbers and below the line and above the line and all that, to create the erroneous impression that things are well, I do hope that people are listening. I hope that, I think that the government obviously is concerned about what is happening. The president has said so. But unless this attitude, this arrogance and the pretense that everything can be solved by sheer genius, we have seen that the promises that were made simply can't be fulfilled in these circumstances. I faced difficulties in my time. We introduced a VAT. There was such a big pushback. In the end, I decided to withdraw it until people were better prepared and understood. I knew that as a country, we're going to have a VAT. But I withdrew it and made sure then that the sales tax that we had already was vigorously implemented and the numbers didn't slip. So in politics, you just don't ram things down people's throats. especially when the majority in Parliament is so thin and evidencing, a real polarization in the country. So it is not good for the country that everything should be seen in party political colors. I think that there is a good deal to be said about, lowering the temperature in the country. A good deal to be said about just a show of some humility. It is aggravating when people are constantly faced with, some arrogant dismissal of everything that is said, depending upon who is saying it. It doesn't make any sense. I think that it's important that we bridge this gap and create an environment in which sensible debate can take place, especially when the lines are so thin in Parliament. You don't say, we are in power, we're going to do it, whether you like it or not. I think that it is time to lower the temperature, so to speak, and demonstrate a certain amount of humility and bring down the arrogance, because the numbers don't show that we are doing great.
Let's do a story about marriage, shall we? And former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Emmanuel Aduobin, is urging people who want to go into marriage to seek knowledge about the institution of marriage first before they get married. According to him, having knowledge and learning under the feet of experienced people would reduce the rate of divorce in the country. Speaking at the launch of a book on marriage titled A Theology of Marriage and Family, a challenge to same-sex relationships, Professor Emmanuel Aduobin stated that would-be couples have the opportunity to enjoy marriage if they seek knowledge and wisdom about the institution of marriage first. I was at the book launch. The book, reviewed by Ace Anan Ankoma, senior partner and head of dispute, Benti Enchi and Lecha and Ankoma, deals with the intricacies of marriage. It invites not only those who are yearning to enter into the marriage institution, but also those who are already in it. Former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Emmanuel Aduobin, who graced the launch, bemoaned how marriages are contracted these days and urged would-be couples to seek knowledge and wisdom about the institution.
If you listen to what is happening in people's homes, if you read what is published on the news, social media, and even from our own experiences, you will see that indeed ignorance is really affecting us in our marriages. Sometimes you look at children, you look at the youth, even adults, you wonder what is wrong with us. They say there's something called social media, and the kind of, pardon me, the nonsense you read on social media, you wonder what is happening to us as a people. And Ghana is said to be 70%, 80% Christians. Things that you will never believe about Christians are happening all over the place.
The author of the book, Reverend Dr. Isaac Mills O, shared his motivation for writing the book and threw more light on same-sex marriage, a topic in the book he's treated.
Gradually, the passion to help people preserve authentic marriages grew as I advanced in my career as a pastoral counselor. But it was not fully realized until during my doctoral program in marriage and family in the United States. That was when I clearly understood the call of God for me to be bold to talk about some marital challenges that many religious and community leaders and some pastors shied away from or failed to provide adequate and authentic explanations for their abhorrence. When the movement of same-sex relationships became prominent in the United States of America, it was very difficult to receive clear explanations from the Christian community as to why one ought not engage in such behaviors. The notion to have faith in God and prayer did not help much, especially as the world observed religious leaders bishops and children of reverend ministers and church elders come out to announce their change in sexual orientation and reveal shocking and atrocious relationships with people of the same sexes.
Reporting for Joynews, Richard K Nyarko, Cape Coast. Let's go back to the Upper West region, and students of the Nursing Training College are bearing the brunt of the lack of hostel facilities at the college. Principal of the college, Dr. George Yao Signetom, disclosed that the students on a daily basis walk a maximum of 12 kilometers to attend lectures at the campus and back to their hostel. In addition, the street they use to the college is without street light, attracting attacks from robbers. The situation, according to him, is affecting effective teaching and learning at the college. Rafiq Salam has more in this report.
Though Nursing Training College has moved from its foundation borrowed campus at the Wa Municipal Hospital, where they used to hold classes at the hospital's canteen, to a campus of their own at Perhi, they still have myriad of challenges to deal with. Speaking at the college's matriculation of 227 first students, Principal of the college, Dr. George Yao Signetom, commended various stakeholders, including government, board members of the college, and the landlords at Perhi for the significant development brought to the college. He, however, considered that there are still more assignments on their hands to complete.
Suffice it to say, we still have assignments on our hands. This includes the provision of hostels for the students, gatehouse for the college, street light connections from Persi to the college, and in-campus road network shaping and asphalting.
Throwing more light on the issue, he noted that the college for now has no hostel facility of their own, forcing students to on daily basis walk for 10 kilometers to attend lectures and back to their private hostels.
Kilometers I'm talking about is a big worry. 5 kilometers to the school, and the west is about 12 kilometers that the students will have to commute, and that is not palatable at all. I think we should take a serious look at this issue. Our student population is not that big, and I'm inviting everybody to come into this particular situation and see how we can, make a difference. This will go a long way to help them to study harder. We are doing well in terms of academic and professional, laurels. We can do greater if the hostel facilities are cited in campus.
Despite the challenges, Dr. Yao Signetom revealed that plans are afoot to mount a new program at the school and needs the support of all stakeholders. Upper West Regional Minister, in a speech read on his behalf by the Chief Director of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Peter M. Mala, lamented about the refusal of nurses to accept postings to rural areas where the services are needed most and call on them to change their ways.
The few health professionals who accept postings to these areas end up working more hours than they should due to lack of staff, and this impacts negatively on the health service delivery system. I would like to use this occasion to appeal to our nurses to see postings to rural communities as a call to service and not as a punishment. Madam Chair,
the college's population over the years has been spiraling, which requires that adequate steps are taken to fix them. Some students share their frustrations on the challenges and want duty bearers to come to their aid.
And there are no street lights in the campus, which in the nights we can't come then study. And also the hostel where we stay and then come to campus is very far, which is making us reporting on school late, which is not good for us as students.
Well, it's very scary because no street lights on the streets, and even if we are having entertainment, but we have to risk our own lives from Perisi to this place. And then there are even instances where people were being trapped by armed robbers on the way some time back. So it's really a very risky thing for us. So if you can help us out, we'll be very grateful.
We pay a lot of fees in this particular institution, so that weakens our parents. But so I think with the allowance, some of us had the hope that even after we come, with the aid of the allowance, we'll be able to purchase our handouts. We are going for clinicals, we'll be able to rent places and also even get something to eat. But we've all been hearing it will come, just promise and fail, promise and fail. So it is even making us frustrated, and some of us are even losing hope in it, because we thought with the aid of allowance we'll be able to pay our school fees and pay for like other important accessories.
The challenges, according to the students and the principal of the college, are enormous. But one thing is key, which they will prefer to work on as quickly as possible, which has to do with the hostel facility for the college. Reporting for Joynews, Rafik Salam, Keri.
Let's stay in the northern part of the country, specifically to the Upper East region, where the Swiss ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stalder, has commissioned new water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for the Manyoro Community Health Planning and Services Compound in the Kasana, Nankana West District of the Upper East region. The facilities include a solar-powered mechanized borehole, washrooms and toilet facilities for the healthcare staff and maternity rooms. Abesori has more in the following report.
The Manyoro community in the Kasana Nankana West District of the Upper East region was one of the worst hit by the flood disasters of 2019 and 2020. Following the disasters, the Ghana Red Cross Society, with funding support from the Swiss Red Cross, constructed new low-cost houses for the people in this community who lost their homes in the floods. This year, the Swiss Red Cross has funded the installation of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for the Manyoro Community Health Planning and Services or CHIPS compound. On a visit to commission the facilities, Swiss ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stalder, first paid a courtesy call on the chief of Manyoro. He also visited some homes to have a personal look at the low-cost shelters that were constructed for the flood victims. The chief of Manyoro, Per Dr. Poakia Atudi Pari Manchi III, expressed his gratitude to the Swiss Red Cross and the Ghana Red Cross Society for the work they have done in his community.
I am happy for a project because we used to travel far for water. We used to travel far. Some of our people died when they are being referred. In fact, we don't even have accommodation. This community is about 26,000. It doesn't mean that the governments have not been doing their best. It is that they've been doing their best according to their defined limits. Whoever comes to art, we will embrace. So, may the ancestors and the gods of our land bless you.
The water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for the Manyoro CHIPS compound include a solar-powered mechanized borehole, washrooms and toilet facilities for the healthcare staff and the maternity rooms. The nurse in charge of the Manyoro CHIPS compound, Matilda Songose, said the sanitation facilities have brought massive improvement in the delivery of services at the healthcare facility.
On the aspect of the clients and the patients too, when a woman comes in labor, the caretaker, whoever brings the labor case, has to go to a borehole or wherever he or she can get us water to help us render the service to the clients. And on the part of sanitation too, we, the health staff here, we are having a toilet, it's behind there, it was a KVIP. And in fact, it was nothing to write home about before this project came into. Transportation for our clients, that's when we are referring cases. It wasn't easy. So in fact, Red Cross have come to solve that problem too by giving us a tricycle ambulance, which we are very happy with. Especially last year when it would go to the rainy season, we referred many complicated cases to hospital.
The Swiss ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stalder, said he was excited to see the impact of their work on the Manyoro community.
Now we will inaugurate this health project, and it was rightly mentioned it's a successful project. But let me make one observation and maybe share one thought with you. We cannot yet consider it as fully successful because now the maintenance, now the implementation of the project starts, no? And that's for me the essential. We can build up a structure, we can build up a project, but then it has to be used successfully. And I count on all of you, on the citizens, on the Women's Association, that you use the facility in the best way. Only then I would call it a successful project.
He said his country, Switzerland, will continue to support humanitarian projects in Ghana. The Secretary General of the Ghana Red Cross Society, Kofi Addo, said a humanitarian forum will be held later this month to mobilize resources for more interventions in deprived communities of the Upper East region. For Joynews, Albert Sori, reporting from Mayoro.
Let's continue to stay with Albert Sori in the Upper East region, and he reports that although the shea butter is a product in high demand, the procedure involved in processing it is very long and tedious. But even then, women at the community level who labor to produce the shea butter sometimes do not get the right price for their product. With the emergence of yellow shea butter, a new product which contains medicinal ingredients, the Widows and Orphans movement, which has been training women in shea butter processing as a way of economically empowering them, is asking government to support the women with machinery and a regulated market where they can get competitive prices for their products. Here's Albert Sori's report from the Upper East region.
Inside the Widows and Orphans Movement Training Center here at Pusinamu in the Talensi district of the Upper East region, these women gather to begin the processing of yellow shea butter. They will be processing 1.5 bags of shea nuts into yellow shea butter. First, they must select out the bad nuts.
Remove all the black nuts. Any foreign object that is inside the nuts, you remove it. Then after that, we carry it outside and we do our washing. Then after we wash, we just dry it for some time, then we crush it again. We do the crushing.
Maimunatu Musa has been processing shea butter for many years. She is here today to train these women in how to make yellow shea butter. After washing and drying the nuts and then crushing them, the job of the first day is done. The next day, the crushed shea nuts are steamed. Herbs from the turmeric plant are then added, and the mixture is milled into a paste. Day 3. The shea nut paste is taken through another process, kneading. This process separates the butter from the shea nut residue. Next, the butter is boiled for about 2 hours. It melts into oil. The oil is then poured into a plastic jerry can and stirred intermittently for the next 2 hours. Left overnight, the oil solidifies back into butter. In this case, the turmeric plant added gives the butter a yellow color. It has taken 4 days for these women to process 1.5 bags of shea nuts into yellow shea butter.
Yes, we have different clients. Some clients, they want yellow butter. And the plants that we use for the yellow butter is medicinal. You can eat it. You can use it as your pomade. It's good.
Maimunatu is, however, unhappy about the quantity of butter they got after days of hard work.
When we weigh it, it will be 1 box. It's 25 kg. This one, looking at this one, it looks as if we ran into loss because we sort up black nuts, the breaking ones, remove the ones with the shells. So it was plenty.
There were many
bad nuts. So this one, to be honest with you, when we sell, we won't be able to make profit.
4 days of hard work, and there is a chance these women will not make any profit on the butter they produced. And this is even with the help of the machinery here at the Widows and Orphans Movement Training Center. For the women in the rural areas who do not have access to this kind of machinery, shea butter processing could take them weeks. Director of the Widows and Orphans Movement, Fatih Abigail Abdullahi, says there is more demand for shea butter now that the yellow type is also emerging, and this will help economically empower more women in the country.
When women are economically empowered, they are able to resist abuses, but more importantly, they are able to meet their family needs. In recent times, the organization has had orders for yellow shea butter. However, our women groups were not able to produce yellow shea butter because they didn't have that skill. We approached one of our donors in Germany called Paul EV, and they supported us with some funds to carry out this 4-day training.
She believes that the women who engage in shea butter processing need support with machinery and a regulated market where they can get premium prices for their products.
We equally look at how we can reduce the drudgery associated in producing shea butter. Shea butter making is actually laborious, it's a difficult task. We, together with other organizations, have been calling upon the state to actually provide some support services to these women groups, especially in terms of machinery, but equally helping to regulate the market prices of these butters. Because you can imagine if they go through all these difficult process and they do not get a good market price for the product.
For these women, it is a daily struggle to meet their customers' demands for profits that are not as good as they should be. They are, however, hopeful that with time, things will change for the better. Albert Sorry, Joynews, Pusinamo, Talinse District.
From our correspondent, we'll take a break. We shall be back with more. Stay with me. And welcome back from the break. And a German-based Ghanaian medical doctor has donated medical supplies valued at more than £164,000 to the Menchia District Hospital in Kumasi. The items donated were aimed at improving quality healthcare delivery at the hospital. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more in this report.
The items include blood pressure monitor, ultrasound device, infusion equipment, among others. Dr. Abbas Ganihu stated the gesture is part of his plan to help health facilities improve the healthcare delivery system.
This is not the first time that I'm doing this thing. And this is not, I'm doing it all over in Ghana, Upper East, Upper West, Eastern, Western, Greater Accra, Ashanti. This is, I think, 5th time that I've been in Kumasi. You understand? But this is the first time to come to Menchia Hospital. So it's something that I'm doing as a philanthropy. It's something that I'm doing it, and you know.
Dr. Abbas imported approximately 5 containers full of medical equipment and consumable medical supplies that will be distributed to healthcare facilities across the country.
Even next week, I'll go to Zebila and Sapalaga with the, and then I'll go into Minduri with the Honorable Abanga. So I'm all over. The container that I brought like 5 containers. All our hospital equipment. And I don't want to give it to one person. I'm sharing it all over the country. And this is not the first time. I'm doing it 3 times in a year. So I'm ready to, all over the country, whoever need my help, the door is always open.
He expressed concern about huge import bills, even for medical equipment.
A lot, especially in euros. Last time, the invoice that they give it to me, the items that I put it in 140-feet container, almost more than 400,000 euro. You know, hospital equipment, those small things, 10 euro, 5 euro, 20 euro, 30 euro. If you get the invoice, it will shock you. You even surprised. So at least it costs a lot of money, a lot. My brother, you can't even imagine it. Yeah. I really having challenges, and that's what I'm pleading the government to do something about it. And most of the time, especially at the hospital equipment, like this hospital equipment, they even wanted to see this. They even wanted to see this. I really have a tough challenges with food and drugs, but at the end of the day, I try to sort it out. You know, I've done it like the way I used to do it. You know, everything that you are doing with one art, God is always at your side. So at the end of the day, you find a solution and you do the best thing what you have to do.
He promised to provide more medical equipment to the Menchia District Hospital.
To be honest to you guys, the things that I have for this hospital, I think I have almost 440 feet. But I can't bring all of them at once. Because of that Ukraine war issue, the containers price are high. Normally, when we are sending the 40 feet, we used to pay 3,000 euros. But because of that war, now we pay 4,500, almost 5,000. So I promised my senior brother that I'll be bringing them step by step. So inshallah. So let's say somewhere around September, you guys have almost 60 beds and then 2 scan machine, ultrasound. So I'll bring it. You know, I'll bring it for you guys to support the hospital.
The Menchia District Hospital is one of the busiest hospitals in the Ashanti region, almost at pair with the regional hospital. The hospital performs approximately 80 deliveries in 1 week, with one of the highest outpatient department attendance. However, infrastructure and equipment are some of the challenges confronting the hospital. Medical superintendent at the hospital, Dr. Kamaruddin Hussein, said the donation was timely as the facility wants to provide better service patients.
It is one of the busiest hospitals, apart from Komfanoche, in the whole of Ashanti region. When you leave Komfanoche out, it's Menchia that comes first. So, and I can also assure you, we have quite a number of specialists in this facility. The regional hospital is there, but we have probably more specialists here than in the regional hospital. So we are almost at par with the regional hospital. There are 2 pathologists in the Ghana Health Service. One is here, and the other one is in Accra. So you can imagine, we are trying to develop Menchia to a level that if you come in here, you know that you are assured of the health service that you receive.
Dr. Hussein commended the donors for their kind gesture to equip the hospital for quality healthcare delivery. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Let's move to the Northeast region now, where my colleague Ilyasu Tanko did a report on the just ended MPP constituency elections. He reported the MPP ended its constituency executive elections in all the 6 constituencies in the region. And in all, 196 aspirants and 3,515 delegates, including the party patrons and the Council of Elders, took part in the elections held in all 6 constituencies in the region. He has more in the following reports.
The election exercise in the region began on Thursday with the Cherponi, Bunkurugu and Yunyu constituencies respectively. The exercise continued on Saturday in the Nalirgu Gambaga, Walewale and the Yagaba Kubori constituencies. The exercise recorded a total of 196 aspirants and 3,515 delegates, comprising 3,225 polling station executives, 132 electoral area coordinators, 94 constituency executives, 30 party patrons, 30 council of elders, and 4 members of parliament. The regional executive have praised the exercise as free and fair in all the 6 constituencies. However, the entire election process in the Nalirgu Gambaga constituency, unlike the 5 other constituencies, started and ended with grievances and accusations. The controversy of the process in the constituency first emerged during the compilation of the register, when some of the regional executives were accused of scheming for the re-election of all incumbent executives. The controversy escalated after the vetting process and reached a knife edge 2 days before the election, when a group of disgruntled aspirants wrote a petition seeking eventually to stop the exercise following a disagreement over the venue for the exercise, which was being taken from Nalirgu, the regional capital, to Langbinsi. Musa Jalil, one of the disgruntled aspirants, has spoken to Joynews and said he and his group were concerned about their security.
When I saw it on the WhatsApp platform that we have to go to Langbinsi, I haven't seen my colleague aspirants. I want to see them and we'll see the way forward. Even if it means, stopping EC from going to Langbinsi on that day. But I'm not saying what I'm saying is sacrosanct, but it will be part of the decision.
Despite the tension that had built, The election came off Saturday morning at the Langbinsi Community Social Center after the Constituency Election Committee brushed off the interventions of both the Nayure and the Regional Police Command. The exercise scheduled to commence at 9 a.m. was delayed until a few minutes to midday. The municipal election officer, frustrated by the delay, had issued this notice to the delegates.
9 o'clock, and then we end at 3 o'clock. But it's past 10 and they're not ready. But we are ready. I've told them 3 o'clock we are not extending the time.
The exercise, contrary to the fears of many, was calm and peaceful, with a heavy presence of largely unarmed security personnel. The regional minister, Yidana Zakari, had assured the election would be peaceful and transparent.
I think the signals we picked were wrong signals from people who don't understand the internal dynamics of the party. We have come far since 1992. And I don't think that we are going to wind back our clock. So I can give every assurance that this is going to be a very peaceful exercise.
Nonetheless, the exercise recorded some tense moments while voting was ongoing. This was when the MC Hajia Rashida Mahama sat close to the electoral officials while voters were in line to cast their vote. The MC was forced to relocate her seat. This was another tense scene between a supposed agent and the municipal police commander. The exercise also witnessed the invasion of some heavily built men who entered the voting ground as voting was just about to end. The regional minister quickly issued a stern warning to the unidentified men.
This is a family affair. It doesn't lie with anyone to travel from any part of the country to come here and play problems. Those people, if they are here, and I know they are, they should live here. The police are there, the military are coming. We are not in a battlefront. So nobody should take us for granted. We will not allow that. So if they are dreaming, they should better leave. If they have their cars parked outside, I say they should leave. I wouldn't allow anybody to jeopardize with the security of this building.
Finally, voting ended after 5 p.m., followed by counting and declaration of the results, all happening many hours later around 11 p.m. The regional minister, who swore into office the new executives, charged them to work towards achieving the goal of breaking the 8. The MC pledged her support to the newly executives, while the chairman indicated his readiness to unite the party and ensure its success in the constituency. From Langbinsi, Ilyas Sutanko, reporting for Joynews.
So let me take you to the Bunu East region now, and with the Bunu East region recording 4 rabies-related deaths in the year 2021, the Bunu East Regional Director of the Veterinary Services, Dr. Antonio Setutu, has called on the general public, particularly dog owners, to be mindful of vaccinating their dogs annually as a means of reducing rabies-related cases in the area. He made this call when addressing members of the Techiman Dogs Club during its maiden annual dogs walk in the Techiman municipality. My colleague Anna Sabit was part of the walk and has come through with the following reports.
Dog owners enjoy numerous health and social benefits by walking their dogs a few times a week. These benefits include improved cardiovascular fitness, lower blood pressure, stronger muscles and bones, and decreased stress. Here in the Techiman municipality, for the first time ever, the Techiman Dogs Club held its maiden edition of the annual dog walk to help socialize and provide special exercises for their dogs. Elvis Ajenim is the president of the Techiman Dogs Club.
Few days walk, we've been able to socialize ourselves with individuals, people who are in certain positions you might be not able to maybe talk to or get closer to. You know, with this dog walk, we've been able to get the access to talk to them. And it has helped also in exercising. Some of us, for instance, we work from Monday to Saturday and we don't have time. And Sunday we go to church. But because of this, we've known that, okay, exercise is good. And this dog walk, this one we had, has taught us the importance of walking with our dogs and with ourselves.
A regular walk is vitally important for the health of dogs, as dogs who do not get this are at risk of being obsessed as well as easily becoming bored or destructive. Bono East Regional Veterinary Officer Dr. Antonio Seitutu lauded the motive by the club and noted that the platform was created to sensitize dog owners across the area on the need to vaccinate their dogs against rabies.
As a veterinarian, my message on this occasion is that as we continue to keep dogs, we must be mindful of one particular disease associated with dogs. We cannot decouple that disease from keeping dogs, and that is rabies. Rabies is a zoonotic disease. It is transmissible from animal to man. Rabies is of public health interest, and it has 100% case fatality rate. So as we keep them, we must be mindful to vaccinate our dog every year. And then I want to use this platform once again to create the awareness, to sensitize, to educate not only members of the club, but then the general public as a whole, to take advantage to vaccinate their dogs every year.
Dr. Antonio Seitutu bemoaned the increasing number of rabies cases recorded in the Bono East region, adding that 4 lives were lost in the year 2021 as a result of rabies.
Dog bite cases are high, and let me say that on records, the year 2021, Bono East recorded 4 cases of deaths due to rabies. 4 cases of death, and that is phenomenal. That is very high. For even 1 case is something to write home about.
Representative of the Municipal Health Directorate, Cyprian Dobeto, admonished members of the club to regularly embark on search walks to boost their health and that of their dogs.
We are looking at the general populace having some level of physical activity, not necessarily strenuous exercise, but if you can have a 30 minutes walk like what we are experiencing today, it's good for your heart and how the heart works. And at the end of the day, that means you are having a healthy life in general.
Some of the participants noted that the move has been fruitful to themselves and their dogs. Eric Asari is one of them.
This is the first time that I'm taking part, and I can see it has helped me a lot. Me, myself, and my dog. Because the dog, for quite a long time, I haven't taken her out for walk. So for today that we are taking part, it has helped us a lot. And I will entreat each and everyone to take part whenever they are going to organize such a thing.
Clearly, many of these dogs need more of such walks, as some could not stand the hours of work within the municipality. Anas Sabit, Joynews, Tichiman.
Let's just stay with Anas Sabit, and he reported that authorities at the Kintampo Senior High School in the Bono East region are appealing to government to help in the completion of abandoned projects in the school to enhance academic work. Headmaster of the school, Samuel Kwekudonyina, made his appeal during a heavily attended Deba to climax the 50th anniversary celebration of the school. Anas Sabit again has more in this report.
A grand Deba to climax the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Kintampo Senior High School has been held with a call on authorities to help improve the school's infrastructure, which, according to the students, is affecting academic activities.
Kintampo Senior High School faces many difficulties, which reduces academic performance. First, I would love to talk about the lack of furniture in our school. Most students find it's time for dining when they go, unless they enter badge by badge, until all of them gets food to eat, which reduces academic performance. It makes most students go to class late. And also, we lack dormitories. Our dormitories are inadequate. Lack of dormitories have made girls very few in the school. And also, lack of beds too. Most students, especially the fun ones who just reported, lie on the floor.
As you can see, in this world, everything is about computer. So how can a student be in school without studying ICT? So I'm pleading on the government that they should come to our aid to help Kintampo Senior High to build and equip computerized laboratory to help the academic work of Kintampo Senior High School.
Headmaster of the school, Samuel Kwekudonyina, disclosed that authorities of the school have been forced to convert a master's bungalow into a girls' dormitory to help manage the school's accommodation challenges. This he attributes to the slow pace of projects under construction within the school.
We have several challenges in the school. Notably, one among them is the road network. Very, very, very poor. You have seen it for yourselves. We again have challenges with girls' dormitory. As at now, we have converted one master's bungalow that was supposed to be for the assistant headmaster domestic. We have converted to girls' dormitory. We hope people will come and support us. We have some projects that are ongoing, but at a very snail pace.
He appealed to stakeholders in the education sector to come to the aid of the school to help solve these challenges.
We are praying that Get Fund, government and all people who are in charge will help us fix it so that the students would have a bit of comfort as they learn for the betterment of their future and Ghana at large.
Guest speaker and former student of the school, lawyer Samuel Boache, called on the student body to contribute their quota towards building their futures by taking their lessons seriously.
Dear students, you must learn, do your class assignment, research, do homework, write examinations, attend classes, participate in class and school activities fully, and also take part in extracurriculum activities. The word you must watch is that a little learning is a dangerous thing. Dear students, get a role model. Student, target somebody. Target somebody and said, I would like to be like this man. A good person, of course.
Anna Sabit, Joynews, Kintampo.
And that's where we draw our curtains in this edition of the program. Many thanks for watching. My name is Richard K Nyarko. Have a fantastic day.